Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this first webinar series of special talks from WGC. WGC is an organization we conceptualized, Swati and I, 3 years before, and it was to promote geospatial technologies and to build inclusiveness, harmony, and diversity in geospatial sector. Continuing with our agenda to bring harmony and diversity in this sector, we bring to you this very first talk of Spatial Talks, which talks about women in geospatial science, opportunities and challenges. Today in the panel, we have eminent women personalities from the geospatial sector representing industry, research institutions, academia, and the startup. We have with us Dr. Manosi Lahiri, who is Managing Director of ML Info Map, Dr. Seema Parehar, who is Head of the Department Geography in Kirodimal College, and we have Ma'am Shefali Agarwal, who is Scientist G and Group Head of this group head in IARS. And the fourth speaker is, and the moderator is Dr. Yogita Shukla from WGC.
The clients save time, costs, and improve efficiencies. So our main business is to offer expertise to companies who are doing bigger projects. So do women and men perform differently under these circumstances? Do they perform differently in their utilization of what geospatial technology has to offer? I am not that convinced that women work differently than men in a non-discriminatory environment, which is why in our organization, we have made no distinction between the sexes, place of origin of people, economic, social background, and various other matters. We emphasize performance and we give roles and compensation as a result of that performance. We know that in some ways, geospatial offers huge opportunities to women because of the wide range of job opportunities in them. Because mapping, processing images, data development, software programming, project management, testing, all these avenues are open to everyone. Besides, it's flexible for women because we are digital. It is flexible for women. They can work from home or from office. And as the COVID situation has shown, people and companies who are comfortable in the digital environment, have digital workflows from beginning to the end, have been able to cope under these very difficult circumstances of work from home. But that is not to say that women have not faced problems working from home, because primarily in the Indian context, they are also responsible for running homes, taking care of children, and of course there is the office work that they almost always necessarily have to do in the same manner as they were doing while in office. So where's the answer? If we offer equal opportunities to everyone, men and women, then under these circumstances, I believe it is empathy that is required. Empathy from colleagues, empathy from family, and of course from the employers. I just want to bring one point here. I know Yogita here, who invited me to speak, is a great proponent of embracing diversity. She's a very passionate exponent of engaging more women in geospatial. So I want to bring to the notice of everyone and women organizations that if one provides a stable environment for professionals from wherever they come from, that is the kind of environment that nurtures everyone, including women. It puts them into roles where they can show their leadership and take responsibility. And only when you take responsibility can you demand your rights and better positions. We encourage all our people to innovate. We give them exposure to cultures that they have not interacted with before. We enable them to express their interests so that they can work in that area. Now, I would not say it is all opportunities. There are challenges. It's a great challenge to assimilate people and create team spirit and a good company culture when you are encouraging from very different, you're encouraging job seekers from very different backgrounds. But I believe that this has been achieved in many different verticals. Now you consider in India, the media, the civil services, the medical and educational professions, even the IT profession, the larger IT profession outside geospatial. You have many women who are employed and in very responsible roles. So I believe that we have a huge opportunity to catch up in the geospatial area, and let us recognize the passion with which people have faith and have remained in the geospatial technology field and contributed to their vocation. Let us recognize them and encourage them further. So with these words, I end my presentation.
All the speakers, the attendees, and the organizers. Thank you, Dr. Yogita, for giving me this opportunity to share my experience. Firstly, I would like to congratulate you and your team for starting this wonderful initiative on Women Geospatial Coterie, and also for organizing this first webinar today. My career started way back in, around 28 years back. My first introduction to the field of GIS was in 1992. I was totally unaware about, if I say so, about GIS at that time. As mentioned, I was a physicist. I had a very strong knowledge of computer programming. Computers was a very strong part of my qualification. So with this qualification, I joined Indian Institute of Remote Sensing in 1992 as, I would say, a person to contribute in an ongoing national project on national wasteland development.
You started off with her.
Hello. Okay. I started off at that moment. That was my first introduction, or say my lessons in GIS. You could say so. From then, it was never looking back. For the last 28 years, I've been working in this area. And for me, and as I've joined an organization, ISRO, where gender bias I've never experienced, equal opportunities were there. When I joined in 1992 or 93, there were only 2 women scientists, me and one of my colleagues. And gradually now I see, though the number is not 50-50, but yes, it has grown tremendously from that moment. 8 years to come to this level. So still, a lot of work needs to be done. Another aspect which I faced was, I'm seeing also now when we are doing training, we have researchers coming in, lot of girls or women are joining in this field. They are coming here to do their PhDs. They're coming here for pursuing their MTech, their research in this field of geospatial technology. As per se, in many of the courses, we find the girls outnumber the boys in these courses. Many a times we have more ladies, more girls joining in the program. There are programs for the university faculty. There also we see a lot of female staff, professors coming in and doing the courses. But why we are not able to find them as mentioned by Dr. Mansi, that they are not there in inequality in either the, you can say, industry or academia or even in research. There are issues like, I have seen not only in India, but globally also we have seen that there are women who leave after a certain period of time. They work for initial phases of few years and then they quit. So what could be the reason for their quitting? It is something like, they do not get or they do not see anything in future. They do not get a role model to pursue in terms of the opportunities, at least at the management level. There are issues at the management level where one has to have more and more women so that they can see a future progression in their careers. So this is what I have observed, that they come to a certain level and then they leave because they do not find a career progression ahead. Because in the management and overall in many industries, or even if you see in many institutions also, you don't find a woman in the lead positions or a management level in geospatial technologies. This is one of my observations, which I said could be one of the reasons to it. As for me, we in our institute now, as I said, I'm leading a department where we have, when I was asked to lead a department in 2007, that is photogrammetry and remote sensing, we were equally 50 men and 50 women. So it was a good experience for me. I felt happy that at least there is a kind of a gender equality. An equal opportunity was given for both men and women to contribute in this area. And to some extent, women were also, encouraged to work in newer areas. That's how I can say, because I have been given a lot of opportunities here in this institute to take up new initiatives, new projects in newer directions. If I worked from GIS, starting from that, then I was asked to move on to remote sensing, to photogrammetry, to LiDAR. I initiated one of the leading programs on the spaceborne LiDAR, then from LiDAR to hyperspectral, then to UAV remote sensing. So a range of, technologies I have experienced now, to the deep learning or machine learning. So it is there. This is a field which I feel where women can contribute a lot, because this is a kind of a multidisciplinary and you require a lot of out-of-box thinking. So where in which both technical and non-technical aspects are there. And this requires a lot of creative thinking, a lot of innovation which is there, where I feel women can contribute a lot. And in this field, there should be, it's natural to have a gender equality, because geographers and map makers alike are very much in tune with, aware of the, interdependent components. So it's not only one, you are dependent in this field on many technologies. So you require a computer person, you require a geographer, you require a photogrammetrist, so you need help of people from various disciplines. So in view of that, I feel women have an equal opportunity. In fact, they can contribute in a much better manner here. Only thing is, we have to have a slight changes in the per se, where more and more women may be promoted to reach at a certain level of management, where a woman can see other women as a role model, that this is the way I can move ahead in my career. If I push a little, I have this place to reach. So if that is missing, then many of the people or many of the women tend to leave at an early age. So if we create an opportunity, forums like this can create a very, can work wonders, where you can give an opportunity to build an inclusive geospatial community, to connect, support such kind of women, empower them, enable them, educate them, and help them to become strong leaders and change makers, and help them to acquire new skills, so that and provide them opportunity to learn and move ahead in this technology. Carry this technology further ahead. This is what I feel, because as for my path of progression, I did not get any, I did get a lot of challenges were there. Every time one has to prove yourself, being a woman more than the counterpart, which is men. So you have to do new things, you have to move a little more, many a times balance between home and work, prioritize things which demands more, and what is required more. Today work demands more of my time, I have to move there. So all these kinds of challenges were faced, but then one has to, you should have a motivation inside that, okay, I have to move ahead, I have to do something different. Then probably every woman can work and contribute effectively. And this is a very creative technologies. There are various ways women can contribute in geospatial technologies, like this deep learning algorithms. It's more like an IT skill kind of an environment, where in IT skills, women, you can see ladies are more and more there in the IT sector. So similarly in geospatial technologies, also women can contribute. Only thing is we have to provide them a very kind of a right environment for them, where they can be confident enough to contribute. A kind of a stable environment and a confidence in them that they can do wonders, and they can have a good career progression ahead. So this is what I would like to conclude with, that there are a lot of opportunities, only we need to set provide a kind of a forum for them, to educate them, empower them with the right tools, and an opportunity, show them those opportunities, so that they can move ahead in this career and contribute in this field. There are a lot of opportunities. I feel opportunities are not there. Challenges definitely are there. So they need to overcome these challenges to move ahead in this career. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Okay.
All right. Hi. As Swati has introduced, but before I begin, I must thank Dr. Manushi Lahiri. Dr. Manushi Lahiri, because she's the one because of whom, if I'm into geospatial, I have to give a lot of credit to her. If you ever from the same college, she was my teacher also in 1990, when I shared with her that I want to do my PhD on natural resource management, ma'am advised me to go to Shivali's land, that is IIRS. So at that particular time in 1990, I went to Shivali's IIRS, Indian Institute. And though at that particular time I was debating, I will now, what I thought I'll speak now, Shifali and Dr. Lahiri has already, I'll touch now the different direction. So then, that particular time I was debating, would I be able to go to IRS also or not? I just got married and she's introducing me to that land. Many other women also may face that. I'm in Delhi now. Ma'am is we used to have that test. I don't know if Shifali we have that or not.
We are not able to hear you clearly, Dr. Seema.
Ma'am, we are not able to hear you.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So now, okay, all right. I don't know what is the mode which I do every time, and Microsoft also is something. Anyway, what I'm saying is I want to thank Shifali and Manushi ma'am, because for a certain reason, because if I am into this, my origin is from remote sensing, into remote sensing is via IIRS. And then so then it continued. And then after that, I thought that this is the area which interests me. But as we are talking about women and we're talking about opportunities and all that, before I go further deep into it, I would like, they also all want me to share my journey. But before I do that, I want to say, as Dr. Lahiri said, and even Shifali has been introducing, that we should be thinking in terms of opportunities, and we should be thinking whether they do not have enough role models, or women do not have enough people, who can motivate them. Geospatial technology, or you call it anything that is there. We do not have enough women in geospatial, whatever the reason it could. We do not have it. And that is something, why I would like to say that we have to have such occasions like this, where we can motivate women to go ahead and participate in this particular arena also. Even in the recent SIS conference, I think so many of you, the ones who are present here, would have attended that SIS user conference. There were two parts this time in the user conference. You had from the JAX group, you also had people from America and the other parts of the world which contributed. And then you also had one group from India also, led by Dr. Agendra, and we were having it. But in Indian forum, you never had any women. There was missing women in any panel discussion. It's not that women are just not there. Shweta could engage with two women, like, the ones who are into geospatial science, like Shefali or Manushi. So then at that particular time also we could have had, but somewhere along the line in this arena, women are missing. And ma'am is saying that we have 25% of the women who are present in this industry. Data says, try to collate, that we have around 16, 17, and some of those places also have less than 10% women who are present. So my take is that, why is there a question of missing women? Are we not? What is the issue? Like, why we need to say again and again that we need to gender this particular group, or we need to go ahead and we do not have gender parity in case if we, and somewhere along the line, if today we are talking pandemic and COVID time and all that, even the recent report that came and which is 2020 report of gender 50-50, we again that women are very less. Women are very less. So, I mean, what is the question that why women are less? Sarah Hawk, who is a co-founder of Global Health 50-50 report, she says epidemic approaches are all gender blind. So I just want to raise question. Just now, two empowered women, they voiced and they showed they are so competent. If you look at Shefali's profile, she's having 100 journals, 100 articles in different journals. And the way she rattled off with the thing, she said she joined with photogrammetry and then on and on into different this thing. And she was into LIDAR and then later machine learning and all, she's doing it. And now she's also heading another, which is the online teaching also, which we all are doing. And we all are doing it all around. So she's surrounded by all men. In case if Shefali can, why not others can also think of doing that? What is it? That is something that moves her to go. Only that looking for a group leader. If I look at Shefali around and I know that her journey around, I somewhere along the line missed on to that women leader who she would have. I never had a chat on this. Now I will have it after that. But like, who is the one she was looking up upon? So that's something. Is that the only thing? Are we all gender blind only for that reason? Because we do not have a role model, or we do not have people to prove that we are very good. Another thing which I just want to say, do you know, in case if you look at this data in the present pandemic time, 70% of the workforce, this thing, all were women, but in decision-making roles were only 12%. And that is a also in any field for that matter. And making is the one which is done by the other sex, and we need to work towards it. And that is the reason why in this arena, if you found initially, kids were not made for women. and they were 70% engaged with all this. Pandemic brought many other issues also, many other things also which were there. But again, somewhere along the line, did we give so much, or we thought that we are talking about gender parity? Even in higher education, in case if you look at it, we have data to prove that we have around 80% women who are tops. The moment we say 80% women who are toppers, then we think that women also, would go up the ladder in the same way. But somewhere along the line, when we look at it, what we find, vice chancellors, we only have 11 or 12%. And out of that, 6% are the women universities. My question that I want to raise is, why, in case if Sarah called it gender blight, I'll call it missing women in the form of an Amritya Sen's language. Why is that happening? Is she not occupy a position to be an advisor to the highest, or what is it? Or what is it that people say behind? No, she's having a family. I mean, man not having, I think so. This is the period where people have stayed indoors together. Of course, we are having many cases as Swami, she said, I'm doing presently three projects which are related to. But my point is that what is the reason? And somewhere along the line, we even today are talking about, if we look at, again, sex ratio is another thing, it's not at parity. And if we education, no, it's something else that's there in the air. I would not like to give only to the patriarchy, but definitely patriarchal structures world over are the ones which are telling us to go ahead and take women along. And that is something, which I like to stress further upon, because I thought the other things are the ones which have already been talked about. Emphasize on is that we need to have groups like this created. And thank you, Yogita, initially just for visualizing the work that you need to have this particular group, which is called women. And the way you visualize is WO and then a hyphen and then men. That's something for me itself is very creative. So it's not that we are separate to men. We are singly engaged, but everybody has to get into their mindset that we, if not more than men, but we are actually all equal. When we all study in a class, we think of each other as equals. Then where is the problem? Where is the issue? Indicated. Not only even in geospatial industry, in other industry too. Many things have told us that in case if we are into it, women have to prove. And in Shefali also she discussed, she said, no, she had to prove her metal. She had to, and the degrees. Data has also, the data which is collected, data has showed us that women may have to acquire more higher degrees than men to occupy that position. Women may have to work a little more to prove that, no, I'm capable and I'm competent. So for me, that's something which again is very important, which we all have to keep in with our skill set, which is of geospatial tools and all those industrial management and all that. So of course, we want to tell you, Yogita, in case if you ever need any one of us, we all are there. Of course, you can just tell and we would be there to participate and go ahead and do it. But now coming to as I said, now I'll just briefly come to my own journey. And that was a backdrop to say that, yes, women are missing. And that is the reason why I got into gender. Initially, of course, I was born in a family where there were 3 daughters. So I was not aware that there's something called, there's some patriarchy or something like that around. I got married in a Punjabi family. And all of a sudden, I realized that, no, the things are different. And so then I got further more and more. And luckily, I was a student and I was a student of the same college where I got a job. So there I was SEMA. So I became a colleague. I never became a women colleague per se. I was called. But then all of a sudden, I became deputy dean and I got other things and all that. So when I got there, I realized that, no, there are issues. And then I was lucky enough, so when I was doing that, as I said, I'm so thankful to Dr. Manushi Lahiri. At that particular time in 1990, at that time, she was in our college and she was my colleague and she guided. Of course, I was debating that should I or should I not do it. But anyway, God was kind with me and I got it. Then luckily, I was participating participating in our Mr. Ravi and Manish and Sanjay are the ones who are organizing, and they always organize such mega big conferences. And I was also participating. I presented a paper, and Professor Carl Hansen, he advised me after my paper presentation that, Seema, why don't you go to ITC? I said, ITC, how can I go for my postdocs? He said, you'll get the whole scholarship and this way and all that. And luckily, Dr. Shiv Kumar was there and Dr. Nag was there, and they guided me to go ahead and all that. So what I'm saying is that all women, the ones who are listening, or even others, the ones who are listening, you have to be visible. You have to be around. You have to be visible. You have to be around so that people look at you, and then you. But again, I was in a dilemma. How can I go to Netherlands? I'm married. I have children also and all that. Anyway, all those things happen. But this is another thing which I want to request all women folks, and even men also for that matter. Now I work for MAWA too, but definitely for women. When men gets a promotion, when men gets anything, it looks like party time. Many of you, the ones who are sitting here, and the ones who are not sitting here, but in a remote sensing way, are connected, all my other women. Many times, because at that particular time, they thought that they have other responsibilities. When men go out on a full paid scholarship, their whole families join them. And it's a celebration time. But women may go and she may be there for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Their family may not join them. And so they have to prove, no, we are very good. We are very nice and we want to maintain and do this thing. At no particular time, I'm telling you that you have to give up your responsibilities. But women have to engage themselves a little more with their emotional stability so that they may not give up. And that is something which is another thing which I'm saying. As I said, my first mantra, which I said was visibility. You have to be visible and do not be there that, so and so and all that. Find time. Women are the best managers who are very good with multiple, doing multiple tasks at one particular time. Do not waste your time in thinking that I am so-called. Never let that word called bichara enter into your vocabulary. You have to be your own driver to take you forward with that positive energy. So then, luckily I came back from ITC, and then I was into this, and then I got other university little engagements of being chairperson of the Central Placement Cell and Deputy Dean, and realized that people thought that women don't know technology, women do not understand data. That's a myth. That's a myth. And we all know that's a myth. And we all somewhere along the line can just take it forward. Then I came across a beautiful program. So look around for the other programs that interest you, that engage you, that can take you forward. And that is called a UGC capacity building program for women managers in higher education. So there I met few lovely people again, as I said, and they were, I remember I met Professor Sushila Kaushik, Professor Karuna Channa, Professor Jaya Indrasen, and Professor Richa Tanwar. And this program was so beautiful, and they all were empowered women. That program had to be closed for funding. I wish if anyone is listening and if anybody wants to take that program forward, they should definitely take that program forward, because it engaged and it motivated people. We had different manuals. I was transacting women in research manual, others were transacting other manuals. And that for the first time brought forward to me in thinking, yes, there are some issues, there are specific issues that women have which need to be ingrained or have to be told to them again and again, that if you want to carry yourself forward, you need to motivate yourself in this particular way. And that was something I think was a starting point when I started using my technology. And I was just wanting to, this geospatial technology was on one hand, and then we had then we had the social needs, which were again another thing. And I thought that God was kind enough, and I met another nice person called an IAS officer called Mrs. Rashmi, and she was the one, and I did my first project of Gender Atlas of India with her. It was the first series of a small project, and we decided on 70. Then when I started collecting data on women, and then we got, so that was a geospatial perspective Gender Atlas of India for Ministry of Women and Child. And then we realized, oh, there are so many other variables which I'm interested to capture. And in the process, I captured the data. And the world over, for the first time, we have 188 plus gender desegregated data put together. And I did my second project with Ministry of Women and Child. That was, again, a geospatial perspective, gender atlas of India, thematic perspective. And then later on, my ongoing project is, which is an invited project by the Department of Science and Technology, and I'm making Women Empowerment Atlas of India. And with another very nice person, she is Dr. Tapti Banerjee. We both are the co-investigators of this project, joint investigators. And I'm so grateful to not women, but now to men, Dr. Depriya Datta. He's the one I feel, he's the one who thinks about, who feel that, we have to have inclusiveness. We need to talk about equity when we're thinking about women, and we are thinking about women empowerment also. Of course, empowerment, at no point of time we are saying that we want to be one plus men. We are saying, please treat us equally, at least engage us equally, so that we all can work together and take this forward. And this is something which I feel is so important. So all these things are there, which we all and each individual, there are opportunities, as stated before by both the speakers. And in this geospatial world, we would have been wanting that we want to be at the top of this industry. Sometimes it happens, you may be working in an industry and you have to leave that job because somewhere along the line you would have felt that no, your family needs you more, and so you left it. And then again this thing, I would only like to say that, every time each of us is different. We have to, each and every time, we have to motivate ourselves, and at no point of time we have to not empower ourselves with a skill set. If today machine language, of course, all these months, from March to today, we all have become well equipped using digital technology, but still there were problems. As I said, when I started on this program, I could not do it because they would have been distant, and I shifted. So there are things I have to finish. There are three things which I want to tell all of you before we, in this geospatial world and this thing which we have to carry on. One is that to all my women, which I would like to tell you is, be ready to change your milestones, redefine your milestones. And that's something which is so very important. Sometimes you want to be this way and you may be wanting to this way. You have to carry it forward. But do not erase any of the milestone in case if something forces you to do that. And be a change within yourself. That's something which is so very important. And I like to tell you that that's something we carry it forward. And at the same time, I will also like to tell you that what is very important is that in the end, that these are the two things which I want to say before ending it. One is that be a women buddy. Be a women buddy. When I say be a women buddy, help women, help each other in empowering each other, in taking them forward. And another thing that is, of course, there is that we may definitely say that, we need to pat them. We may call them thap. We may say traits, habits, attitudes, and practices in this geospatial ecosystem. We have to take it forward. And today, Corona or anything is taking us forward to a new spatial order, and everything is locational driven. You have so many opportunities around society. Do not always look for something, a bigger prizes or bigger awards and all that. That will automatically come to you. Talk to people, have counselors around, and just take this women movement forward, and take all women in your own stride, so that we may all enrich ourselves with more gender disaggregated data. Thank you.
Thank you, Seema ma'am, for enlightening us with all the statistics which you presented regarding the status of women in geospatial science. And it is really very disheartening to note that even though we have lot many opportunities available, but we don't see many women in geospatial science. Thank you, Manusi ma'am, for giving us such enlightening speech. And you very well highlighted that empathy and inclusiveness is what is required to bring more women into geospatial science. And we need to bring more such opportunities for women to be able to contribute in geospatial science, because what is the differentiator is that it is a digital platform where they can contribute when they can also take care of their responsibilities at home, so they can balance it out. And Shefali ma'am, thank you to you as well. And you have been my mentor, my guide since 2000 when I joined IIRS as a research fellow. And I remember, I know that I was really not the easy one to be to work with, to manage, and but you brought out the best from me. And I would also like to acknowledge and thank you for the guidance you gave me when I was at the crossroads, because as this topic is, it is close to my heart, that women in geospatial sciences, the opportunities are there, but then there are challenges equally abound there. And when you want to do something meaningful, you are not able to, because because the responsibilities of caregiving at home really makes it difficult for you to fully provide your inputs at the workplace. And this I handle it firsthand. When I was at IIRS, the research environment, the work environment was very, very conducive, and it was also like 24/7, because I thought that research is not a 9 to 6 job. So IIRS provided that environment where I could go to the lab at 4 a.m. in the morning and work till 10 a.m., which was my best productive time. And it helped me grow in my abilities. Also, I was able to do more than what I could do in that 9 to 6 job. And I would also like to thank my mentor, Dr. P.S. Roy, who allowed me to work with such flexible attitude and flexible work way. And that is where I think my journey, started. And I realized that when I was working in that consulting agency, I really could figure out that I will be able to match my work and the things and take care of my kids as well as my work, because I was able to take kids to the field with me. But as they grow, I realized that now they need to go to the school. So I was again at crossroads as how I'm able to handle it, because with them going to school, I need to be present physically at one place, and I cannot do a full-time work also. So when I joined this organization, GIS Development, I again got a very good mentor in the form of Mr. Manish Prasad, and he allowed me to work with flexible work timings, and I could work part-time from office and part-time from home. So I'm really very thankful, and I feel very fortunate that I could get those mentors and get those seniors, bosses who really nurtured me and helped me evolve in my career through alternate ways, not the regular traditional ways of work. And I'm really, I feel really fortunate about it. And I was working with this, and then I was also wanting to do my science research. So again, my guide, my mentor, he helped me with the DST project, and I was able to work from home through IIRS. And with the industry, I was able to work with AGI. When I was working, they allowed me to work part-time with them. So this kind of alternative ways of working really provided me an opportunity to nurture and to grow into the leadership role, where we could take this plunge into startup, and where we could think of building our own organization, our own consulting, our own training and research facility. And yes, I would also like to acknowledge that my partner Swati triggered me into coming up with this concept and this idea of WGC, because she said that we need to do something where we can bring in more women and we can mentor more women to realize their potential, and And I'm really thankful to all the mentors and all the people who have been with me, my parents, my colleagues, everyone who could who helped me to build an alternative way of growing in a career. So as I feel that we should look beyond 9 to 6 kind of a job, where if we want to bring more women into workforce, and we should look into flexible ways of working. We should nurture, we should groom, and we should mentor women professionals where they are able to balance both their family time and also they're able to grow in their career. Because as a woman, what I feel is they are caught between being a mother and being a professional. So when they are at office, they think more about their kids. When they are with kids, they think about office. And what I feel is that if we are able to provide a ground, a nurturing environment, where they don't feel that they are left out, then they can do wonders, and the alternate ways do work. There are examples, not just I, but Swati is also is a very great example of creating that alternative work model where she also started. She worked with the industry and with MNCs, but now she is also working to nurture and mentor women professionals. So that I would reiterate on this thing, that in geospatial science, this COVID opportunity has brought in the introspection, where we can look into and how we can build models where we can bring in more women into the geospatial field and nurture them and grow them, not just at the data processing level or data entry level, but also to the managerial roles and to the leadership roles. And thank you all for coming and joining us today in our first web series. And we can go to our next session on discussion and open house. So we now have the open house in front of you all. Thank you.
This can be used technology also, so you can apply to application based also. So PhD, you can have a broad look at the, you may get an opportunity where you may give more to it. So enhance your skills, and you may find that PhD is not, this is, and this can be used technology also or some other object where you
exactly, ma'am. I'm applied on trees where this that how giving them impact on the industry. Like if we think about industry, how is impacting the industry, how manufacturing industry, ML is and what efficiency it is giving action or the outcome of it. I am doing in a management. Yes, ma'am.
Actually, what you want to use AI tool in your PhD. So there are opportunities you have to learn. So AI, you can join there are institutions offer courses on AI programs. There are programs also. You can do a short course and learn, master this, and use it as a tool in your whatever your topic.
Okay.
Right, but you have to find solutions which all kind of courses. There are many courses are there where your management play a role. It's only you want to do AI, the opportunities are there. Now even many IIT offering online courses on machine learning AI. Recently in the period, one course was IIT in IIT was an open course. Anybody can join. So such courses that you can join and learn and apply or you want to do.
Okay, ma'am. Can you help me? Data, can you list few sites where you can gather the data which filed by a government company which is open or for public?
What do you want?
We think about what at what each and every industry using AI and ML.
Data probably is not publicly, which index what? That you have to do questionnaire and then data sets. I don't know. Maybe Dr. Manas will be able to tell. Manasi ma'am, would you like to answer this question?
I think that should be a part of the work. Find out what are the technologies, but what freely available.
Exactly.
Thank you, Ravli.
A search of internet produces a lot of information due to other places. You can get the data.
I'm looking for data. Even if there are some data which is reliable, so
You don't need to keep data.
Thank you. Make it as a PhD and do this for your own data.
Okay. Gather my own. How can I go to the industry and for it? Okay, okay. 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 Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Do we have anybody? Yeah, Khushbu.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
please. Yes, Riddhi. Yeah, you're.
I'm doing that.
Can we have one, please? Request take the question, then Riddhi can put the question. Yes, Khushbu, go ahead.
Actually, I am my MPhil in Geography and pursue my PhD oceanography. Please let me some topics over which I can read the ocean with my research.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
See, Yogita, in this, you can connect them to resource who is a as well as an ocean working in the field of ocean. Yes, ma'am. Can guide you. We all are working in like areas. So, Dr. Yogita can, she can direct those person who can guide. Khushbu, be your question. Your question, please.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I am Bachelor of Science, Mathematics and Remote Sensing. I am in my last. Want to pursue masters after this. What is thought that should I do internship or job months and then do masters, or should I do my masters and then job?
Would you like to answer?
See, this is again, as I say, in terms of environment, that It's a choice. For choice, what do you have the timeline? But after back, look around and if you get a clear do. If you're clear, again, as I said, you can share my ID and phone. It cannot happen like
Sure, ma'am. So that we'll connect you with that. Anybody else have any?
But again, it.
Do we have any questions from the industry side or the academy?
Can I Shefali one?
Yeah, I just want to know, have you ever felt in any other place, because you are into the where there has been in your knowledge in cases like where there is a gender discrimination, not gender parity?
Yes, there has. It's not because of organization, I feel. Organization promotes, but it's because of the individual. How many individuals who have this, biasness to Mary, I have been to as a part of an selection committee for select scientists or JRFs in another route. The opinion there was, oh, we should in this. If I have to field, to send somebody to a, I can't go to the field alone, headache on me. There's so many cited for not can or a woman can. So this kind of is there. But if the organization person was told when I went, no, if you give her a preference, this individual who was supposed to work had this bias. So many times I feel the organization, individual per se, certain kind. So we need to identify this in an everywhere. People who are biased, negative opinion. This is one case observed. This aspect of women spatial technology field can't go to field. They have a problem. They'll take leave. They'll have a maternity 6 months leave. They'll go then. So it's better not. So these mindsets men. When I turned from China to a fieldwork in Reserve National Park. So I had done all. I had department. Thrice they asked me, coming alone with the Chinese, they your team for the field. You are doing the alone with these. If I said why? So this kind of inability, what should I say? Is there?
You know what? I say something, I just that so we have to change the society. But also when you're married, then you have to back home. So they're also there. So we have to remove this patriarch. We have. You said you are who is adventurous, and the way you everyone, each one of I'm just saying everywhere in the world that this situation we have people asking you that why. So we have to work in their society. We have to be together to take this forward. And each one of us can be stating that towards it. Let's solve different models to evolve different manuals, and everywhere this is the situation. And field work, going out, and stories where we're alone. Let's be there for each other. Us also, women comes into making roles. They can take a,
that is what women should be in the
gender mainstreaming is far away.
And another thing, one more thing, when we talk about equality, actually we are not to men. We all are. We should accept our weakness, their weakness. We should work it rather than should be given equality. I agree. We are different. Times we can than men, and that is what we should.
Just 1 second more. Not say equality is not what we're looking for. We're looking for in your mind. In your mind, treat us equal. Think that
parity should be there, but not and that's flexible working. Yogita, yes, flexible one where everyone
so many years are somewhere.
To ask Dr. about this ability of working in industry, how it is possible to give women timings to work, contribute in this area?
I think are you there? Oh, you are here. I couldn't see you, sorry.
Fully listening to the speakers.
Ma'am, please. Ma'am, you can put on, please. We could see you there.
Okay. Yeah. Question is, in I guess, all organizations, companies, flexible hours. Is that the question? The question about partly from home?
Working hours, if I say, when I was once opportunity from my to go to Netherlands earlier year, so the faculty, she had been she delivered a baby and mother. Since she would have taken months leave, she'll be out the entire the mainstream and not in the. I mean, she'll be out of the and she has to again after 6 months of time and everything. So what they had given opportunity was work with salary in and not be.
Yes.
Home.
Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I need to think, because in the last 6 months, as we those companies that had digital processes, and I don't mean some function, companies who worked digitally, even if for all process and these processes were worked, I don't think offered as much as which were not doing. This is quite clear. And this is also true of the geospatial. Now, kinds of work spatial industry which you do sitting in your eye. Wants to do some survey, or someone needs to do GPS survey. You cannot do it sitting. Whatever technology you use, if you are in the business doing, say, remote sensing or form of processing or writing algorithms, doing prediction, it depends on what you're doing. These are very easily done on Flex and home. This is our experience. We realized up to quite fine for qualified, experienced, and I repeat, experienced people from home. Because I think are at a loss because they haven't yet learned the nuance communicating with around them. It has nothing to do with tech, it is the cultural aspect. And so when they will be tasks, they will not report. They're not speaking to colleagues. If they be not brought to address, just want to address senior. Whereas those who have no problem at all, that in at least organization there is no speaking to each. It's, now, also is what is the environment you have? Network issue, big issue, particularly in spatial business, say in the management consulting business, where you need very wide, you don't need every piece of work. So that is an issue here. Whereas there are possibilities for going off, being work flexible hours for long extended of time, one needs to choose.
I would say our thing is back for longer hours for of time when it requires ability to one mode to another.
Yes, it is possible. It is actually
because some of my industry who are working, finally they left career in geospatial. Of this, they said it was home front was and slowly they were not kind of flex between and I mean for home and the job. That's the question I was asking you.
See, there's the supply of technical people, qualified technical. You want to hold stuff, you will lose opportunities. You will try, can try and give opportunity to stay on organization because training people up to a point where you rely on them time.
Yeah.
The management and of course women decision makers that the understanding of requirement will be tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming and joining us today in our first web series. Your encouragement, your support, we look forward to it because we are holding this webinar series for next 1 year, and we will look forward to your support and encouragement to bring spatial talks into the mainstream because we are trying to build the new way of communications through storytelling, and spatial talks is all about business stories in geospatial technology domain. So stay tuned with us on Spatial Talks for the next 1 year. Thank you so much.